on a 45 speed limit zone. When I had went around the truck, I was already having transmission issues, so I was trying to get the car off the road, and I was turning to my street. When I went around them, my street was coming up, and then I turned my signal and stuff. So I don't understand.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Robinson. Let me just ask you this. You know, if you don't feel like you've done anything wrong, sir, you would just want to enter a not guilty plea. I appreciate your explanation, but I am doing this in the context of you entering a guilty plea. But if you say, Judge, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, and I feel like I have a good reason for what I did, then that's better for you to say in the context of being sworn in and having a trial, and the prosecutor will present the facts on all three charges, and a decision will be made. What the prosecutor is saying now is that if you want to enter a guilty plea, which is what you said you wanted to do,
I think
I reduce 3 down to 2. So
I think the court misunderstood my plea, sir. I said I was guilty for the middle lane change because I had to go around the car. So yes, I was guilty for going in the middle lane to go around. I didn't say for the other 2 I was guilty. I said for 1.
okay, then I did misunderstand your plea, sir. Then what I'm gonna do is just put you down for not guilty, because I don't want there to be any confusion. Let's just have a trial, because I don't know that the prosecutor is gonna dismiss the other 2 tickets. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you just have a seat? We will either have your trial today, or we will reset it for another day. Do you understand that?
Thanks.
All right, thank you. If you'll please have a seat. All right. Mr. Robinson is entering a not guilty plea. He wants to enter a guilty plea, it looks like, to the center lane, and a not guilty plea to the other violations. Ms. Green, does that take care of everyone in the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, would you all like to start taking care of those people in the queue now?
Right.
And do we have any announcements regarding any of the officers?
I'll let Ms. Yates answer that.
Okay. All right,
Your Honor,
we can wait. We can wait and do it later.
Your Honor, my client for Miss Mendez Torres, I just got an email from her saying that she's having trouble connecting.
Okay.
I don't know what the trouble is.
Let's see if she can do it. If not, counsel, we can always reset the plea until 1 o'clock, and she can either physically come to the courthouse.
Okay.
You could do it virtually, but she could physically come to the courthouse.
Okay, that's fine, Your Honor. I'll give her a couple more minutes.
Okay, and let's just see what happens.
We have one officer that sent in a conflict. That would be Officer Edwards.
Okay. I don't see him on the calendar for today. All right. Let me welcome everyone to the Forest Park Municipal Court. As you come into the queue, if you will please mute your device.
Buenos días, por favor, cuando entre a la sesión virtual, asegúrese de colocar su micrófono en silencio, apagarlo.
Will you please ensure that your video is turned on at all times?
Y asegúrese que su cámara está prendida todo el tiempo.
The police officers do not have to turn their videos on until their case is called.
Los agentes de policía no tienen que prender la cámara, sino cuando se llame el caso en el cual están participando.
Let me be sure that while you are in the virtual court, that there are no distractions in your background.
Asegurémonos de que mientras usted está en esta sesión virtual no haya distracciones en el trasfondo.
And I'm going to ask everyone that's in the virtual court to please type your full name and your email address in the chat.
Y también necesito, por favor, que cada persona que esté presente escriba su nombre completo, su correo electrónico en el chat y se lo mande a Forest Park Municipal Court.
And send it to Forest Park Municipal Court.
Y se lo mande a Forest Park Municipal Court.
Again, please type your full name and email address in the chat and send it to Forest Park Municipal Court.
De nuevo, escribe su correo electrónico y su nombre completo en el chat y se lo manda a Forest Park Municipal Court.
Now, today is your trial day.
Hoy es su día de juicio.
You came to court on your arraignment date and you entered a not guilty plea.
Usted cuando se presentó en la audiencia de la lectura de cargos se declaró no culpable y entonces decidió venir a un juicio.
At the time of entering that plea, you waived your right to a jury trial.
En ese momento que usted se declaró no culpable, usted renunció a su derecho a tener un juicio conjurado
And asked that your case remain in Forest Park for a trial.
y pidió que su caso lo mantuviéramos aquí en Forest Park para un juicio ante un juez.
Unless you change your plea to guilty or nolo,
A menos de que usted cambie su declaración a culpable o nolo,
your trial will be conducted today or it may be rescheduled.
su juicio se va a llevar a cabo hoy o será cambiado, aplazado para otra fecha, dependiendo de las circunstancias.
Please understand you are in a court setting, so you should be sitting up.
Asegúrese de que usted entiende de que está en un ambiente que es de estar en un tribunal, asegúrese que esté sentado.
Please ensure that whatever room you in, it is a professional room and not a bedroom or a bathroom.
Asegúrese que cualquier sitio que usted se encuentre presente para esta sesión virtual es un sitio apropiado para esto, que no es un baño ni es tampoco una recámara.
Please understand that you have proper lighting and that you are not operating a vehicle.
Asegúrese que tenga suficiente iluminación y que no esté operando un vehículo.
These are all the rules of virtual court.
Estas son todas las reglas para poder estar en una sesión virtual.
If you violate any of these rules,
Si usted incumple con alguna de estas reglas,
your virtual court session will be suspended
se le suspenderá la sesión virtual
and you will be required to come down to the court in person.
y se le va a exigir que se presente en el tribunal en persona.
Please make sure that there are no hats or other things on your head while you are in virtual court.
Asegúrese que usted no lleve puesto ningún tipo de sombrero ni cualquier cosa que tenga envolviéndose la cabeza.
All right. I'm going to call the calendar, and when you hear your name called, if you will simply announce your plea.
Yo voy a llamar a la lista de casos cuando oiga su nombre, simplemente diga su nombre.
Which is guilty, not guilty, or nolo contendere.
Asegúrese de decir cómo se declara que es culpable, no culpable o no lo disputa. Cuando oiga su nombre va a coger una de estas tres declaraciones.
All right. Please make sure that you type your name and your email address in the chat and send it to FPMC.
Asegúrese de que escribe su nombre completo y su correo electrónico en el chat y se lo manda a FPMC.
First person is Tyrone Bailey. Tyrone Bailey. That is FTA at 8:22 a.m. on December 14th, 2022. Next is Jose Barajas.
Señor Barajas, ¿necesita intérprete?
No,
Okay, he doesn't need an interpreter, Your Honor.
Mr. Barajas, what is your plea to the driving without a valid license and the possession of marijuana charge?
I was gonna see if I could plead nolo or if not, I was just gonna plead guilty.
All right, can you all inform me if he's eligible for a nolo plea?
He does not have a driver history, and looking at his criminal history, I don't see any indications of previous driving without valid license.
All right, sir, you are eligible for a nolo plea. Would you like to tender that plea?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you understand that by entering into the nolo plea that you're doing this without the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea?
Yes, sir.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
I was trying to send it now.
I see it.
I
I
send it
see
to
it. You have
everyone.
typed it in there. It is
Okay.
in there. All right. You will receive your plea form through your email by close of business tomorrow. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Please enter a NOLO plea. The total fine for both violations is $975. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to pay that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I'll pay it in 2 weeks. That's fine.
All right, you will be given, after you have sent back your plea form, you will receive a 2-week agreement. Please ensure that the sum of $975 is paid within 2 weeks. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, then, sir, you can disengage from the call, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is Dennis Barber.
Here,
Mr. Barber, what is your plea to the speeding charge, sir?
not guilty.
All right, thank you. Sheena Carter. Sheena Carter. Is Regina Edmond, Stephanie Daniel, and Aldon Pierre available? Sheena Carter. That is FTA. And no appearance of the witnesses. Janelle Cody. Janelle Cody. FTA. Anaya Harris. Anaya Harris. FTA. Emir Jacowe. Amir Jacowe. That is FTA. Jacqueline Curse.
Here.
Ms. Kirsch, you have several offenses. Let me take you through them, okay?
Okay.
The first one is driving on suspended license. What is your plea to that?
Not guilty.
All right, did you have a valid license at the date and time that the officer stopped you?
Yes, I did.
What state was it issued out of?
Georgia.
Okay, let them verify that. Also, you have a traffic control violation. What is your plea to that?
Not guilty. My blower was working. It's still working.
Okay, you have another charge of driving on suspended. Well, that one, nope, it's a duplicate ticket. You have a charge of failure to maintain insurance. What is your plea to that?
Not guilty. I've always had insurance. And I had
Okay,
it.
you had valid insurance at the time, and then you have another ticket of expired tag. Was your car properly registered?
Yes, it was. Everything was fine. I have a blower in my car.
Okay, so here's what I need. I need for you to show that you had a valid driver's license, and I need for you to show that you had proof of valid insurance and tag during your trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, and I've already sent that into your office.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure that they have it. Do we have any information from Ms. Curse that the prosecutor can look at?
Yes, I'd have to go.
No, Ms. Curse, hold on.
Oh.
I'm talking to the clerks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Green, Ms. Yates, or Ms. Payton, have we received anything from Ms. Curse?
I didn't see anything, but I'll go back and check. Ms. Kears, when did
All
you
right,
send that
let's
information?
2
let's
weeks
see,
ago.
Mr. Prosecutor, if you need to
Okay.
reset this until 1 o'clock to give you time to look at it, we can.
I can go get it. I'll send an email.
Why don't you go get it and resend the email?
Judge, we may want to reset that one till 1 o'clock so that I'll have time to review
All right.
those.
Ms. Curse, we're gonna reset you until 1 o'clock so they can verify all this information. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. I could pull it up. I could show it to you right now.
She can.
Well, we're not having your trial right now, Ms. Curse,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
So why don't you do this? Since you've emailed it before, if you will go find the email and resend it,
Oh, I got you.
which takes 2 minutes, and
Right.
then they
Okay.
can look at it and we
Okay.
can resolve this hopefully at 1 o'clock. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right,
Judge Freeman,
yes.
I forwarded that information to you and the solicitor.
Okay, they have the information. We will reset you for 1 o'clock and we will see you at 1 o'clock. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you can disconnect.
All right.
Anthony Lares, Lares. Anthony Lares, that is FTA. We've dealt with counsel and Ms. Mendez Torres. We'll get back to that one. Marquise Mitchell. Marquise Mitchell. That is FTA. Angelica Pack. Angelica Pack. It's FTA. Damian Phillips. Damian Phillips. It's FTA. We've dealt with Mr. Robinson. Cortez Swanson. Cortez Swanson, FTA. DeAndrea Talley. DeAndrea Talley. Charles Howard or Melvin Pineda. These are the witnesses. They did not appear, and Mr. Talley is FTA.
Your Honor,
Quentin.
Kelly is in the waiting room. Do you want me to let them in?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
Mr. and Mrs. Talley is in the waiting room. They just logged in, trying to get into the hearing.
Okay, you can go ahead and let them in. I'll come back to them. Quentin Thomas. Quentin Thomas. Anna Martinez. Anna Martinez. Mr. Thomas is FTA. Ms. Martinez did not appear. Courtney Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, you're charged with a traffic control device, sir. What is your plea to that charge?
Nolo.
Let me see if you're eligible for a NOLO plea. Can you all let me know if Mr. Wilson is eligible for a NOLO plea? If you are eligible.
No, he is not.
Excuse me?
No, he's not eligible.
All right, Mr. Wilson, it doesn't look like you're eligible because you've pled one within the last 5 years to a moving violation. So you'd have to change your plea to guilty or to stick by your not guilty plea. What is your preference, sir?
Not guilty.
All right, they will call your case for trial. If they do not call it today, they will reset it. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to the attorney's case. Is this Ms. Is this Ms. Mendez Torres?
Yes, sir.
Is
She's
your
here.
attorney? Okay, counsel, how are you doing, sir?
Good, sir.
Do you need a moment to speak with her?
Your Honor, I was able to communicate with her via email and text while we were waiting for her to get on. And
Okay.
she will plead NOLO to the charges, and she can pay the fine today.
Okay, Ms. Mendez Torres, it's my understanding you're entering a NOLO plea to both charges. Is that correct? Ms. Ida, I
Señorita
think she needs
Torres.
interpreting services.
Señorita Torres, entiendo que se está declarando nulo a los cargos. ¿Es eso correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that you're entering this plea with the assistance of a lawyer?
¿Y usted entiende que se está declarando a estos cargos con la ayuda de un abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering this plea, you are waiving your right to a trial?
Y también entiende que al declararse de esta manera, usted renuncia a su derecho a tener un juicio. ¿Entendió eso?
Sí.
Are
Yes.
you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
¿Se está declarando de esta manera por su propia voluntad y libremente?
Sí.
And do
Yes.
you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the plea?
¿Y usted considera que esto es lo que más le conviene, declararse de esta manera?
Sí.
Yes.
Counsel, is there a factual basis that undergirds these charges, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will
Que se haya
accept the
hecho
NOLO
fundamental.
plea to the improper turn and driving without a valid license.
El juez acepta su declaración de nolo al cargo de hacer voltear indebidamente al cargo de no licencia.
The total fine for both violations is $995.
La multa total para los dos delitos es de $995.
Ok.
It is my,
Okay.
young lady, you will receive your plea form through your email.
A usted le van a mandar su forma de cómo declararse el documento por correo electrónico.
Through
Ok.
DocuSign, if you will enter a NOLO plea and send it back to the court.
por medio de DocuSign. Si usted coloca y se declara culpable, luego se lo devuelve de nuevo por correo electrónico al tribunal una vez que ponga su declaración.
And you will be given up to 2 weeks to pay the sum of $995.
Y se le va a otorgar hasta 2 semanas para que pague la suma de $995. Tiene máximo 2 semanas para pagarla.
Do you have any questions regarding the sentence of this court?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta sobre la condena que le ha impuesto el juez?
Oh, no la escuché, no se escuchaba.
She couldn't hear me, Your Honor. ¿Qué fue lo que no me escuchó?
Oh, lo que me dijo después de que me dijo que si me declaraba si eso y que tenía que pagar, que tenía que pagar, y después lo que dijo no lo escuché.
Tiene 2 semanas máximo para pagar la multa. ¿Entendió?
Ajá.
¿Y tiene alguna pregunta para el juez?
La multa, ¿dónde se tiene que ir a pagar?
Where do I need to pay the fine?
She will receive a 2-week agreement that will tell her where to pay it, but she needs to pay it at the Public Safety Building in Forest Park.
Usted va a recibir un documento con un acuerdo que le va a decir dónde la va a pagar, pero tiene que pagarla en el edificio de safety, de seguridad que se llama Safety Building in Forest Park.
Okay.
Okay.
Counsel, do you have any questions regarding your client's plea or the sentence?
No, Your Honor, other than, do I need to wait until she returns the DocuSign plea?
You do not. She will receive it by close of business tomorrow. So you do not. If there's a problem, they will reach out to you though. But right now, both of you all can disengage from the call. And thank you, counsel.
All right, thank you, Your
Va
Honor.
a recibir el documento a más tardar a mañana a terminar el día laboral. Si tiene alguna pregunta, entonces la van a llamar. Ya se puede retirar.
Okay, gracias.
Okay. Thank you.
DeAndrea Talley, please turn your video on. DeAndrea Talley,
Yes.
you're charged with an improper erratic lane change charge. What is your plea to that?
Not guilty.
All right. We will see if the prosecutor is going to proceed with the trial today. Stay on the line. Please type your full name and your email address in the chat and send it to the court. Send it to FPMC. Do you understand that?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
actually on my way up there.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
Young
done.
lady, listen. How old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
Okay. When you are late for court, okay, I need you to do a few things right. So right now, type your name and email address in the chat. And if you're coming to court, hurry up. But type your name and email address in the chat because you're already late. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Send it to FPMC.
I got it.
Thank you. And we will see if you get here before the court session ends, okay?
Okay.
If not, stay on the line. Thank you. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, it looks like we have a few trials. I think the first one is Mr. Barber.
All right, that's Officer Arnold.
And can we take a 1-minute break? And
Yes, sir.
I will be right back.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Arnold, you on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. Madam Clerk, we still have Ms. Kiersey on the line. I believe we reset her case to 1 o'clock. Can we log her off?
Yes.
Thank you. And Ms. Green, I did get your email on that. I'm confused. Was that for us or was that for Morrow?
She sent it to us.
Okay, but does that, Ms. Yates, you sent me information with what she submitted, correct?
Yeah, she sent a note to me saying, this is for Forest Park, not Morrow.
Okay,
So, and for whatever reason, whatever attachments, I'm not able to see anything, any pictures or whatever, just the verbiage that she wrote.
okay. Okay,
Did you have something different?
what Ms. Yates sent me was a handwritten, well, a document with the handwriting on it from an ALJ that has nothing to do with this. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I think that's why we were kind of confused, but we just sent you what she sent us.
Okay. It's gonna be a long afternoon.
It is. You ready to rock and roll, sir?
Judge, I am.
All right, Mr. Barber?
Yes.
All right. Let me have you to please raise everyone that's going to testify to please raise their right hand. All right. These are just the people in this trial. Mr. Wilson, unless you're in this case, you can put your hand down, sir. Mr. Barber and the police officer, do you understand that the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say, I do.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Barber, the city has the burden of proof. They will outline their case first. You have the right to ask questions. At some point, you will have an opportunity to outline your case. And then after I've heard from both sides, I will determine your guilt or your innocence, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you're dissatisfied with any ruling that takes place in this court, you do have the right to appeal that decision to a higher court, but understand that the judgment of this court stands until it's been modified. Do you understand that? All right, you want to go ahead and present, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. On October 9th of 2021, Mr. Barber received a citation for speeding or exceeding the speed limit, traveling 36 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Officer Arnold or Sergeant Arnold issued that citation. Sergeant Arnold, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Barber?
Yes, sir.
Was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
Are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
I was watching traffic in the 4500 block of Simpson Road. I was parked running laser. I observed a white Chevy van traveling eastbound. I visually estimated the speed at 39 miles an hour. I measured the speed with my LiDAR device at 40 miles an hour at 730 feet. I issued a citation to Mr. Barber for 36 and a 25. I reduced his speed. That stretch of road is 25 miles an hour and it's posted.
All right, nothing further for this witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Barber, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer based on his testimony?
No, I want to know, did you all get the pictures that I emailed to you guys?
Well, first ask questions, and then when you're presenting your case, you can then talk about whatever evidence you sent. Do you understand that?
All right.
So do you have any questions you'd like to ask him about his testimony?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Is it true that in the area the speed limit sign says 25 when flashing?
No, it says 25 at all times. When the school zone is in effect, that's when they're flashing, and it's still the same speed.
All right. So if I was coming off the block before that sign, what sign would I see first?
The entire stretch of Simpson Road is 25 miles an hour. The reason that the lights flash is because when it's a school zone, we can write citations for less than 10 over. When they're not flashing, then we can only write you over 10. Does that make sense?
Just to see 25 when flashing, How would I know? Like if the speed limit is 25 when the sign is not flashing?
Because there's more signs than just the one with the flashing light on it.
And that's why I was saying, you put me over in my detail,
That
man.
was, Judge, I was asked and answered. The officer
It is.
testified. that the whole
Mr. Barber, do you have any other questions, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay, let me be sure I'm understanding what you're saying, officer, is when the light is flashing, it's the school zone is going on. When it is not flashing, it's just a 25 miles per hour speed district.
Judge Freeman, the entire stretch of Simpson is 25 miles an hour. When the
Okay.
light's flashing, that gives us authority to write citations for less than 10 over. When it's not flashing, that means that we have to give him a 10 miles per hour buffer, as you would say. Then we could only stop you for going 11 over or more. When that light's flashing, that means that we can pull you over 1 over to 10 miles an hour over, because that's a school zone violation.
Okay, so he's not being charged with speeding in a school zone. He's just being charged with traveling 11 miles over the speed limit.
I believe this citation was written actually on night shift, so the school zone would not be in effect.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge, this citation was written at 8:28 p.m.
Okay, so my question is, what speed are we saying? Because on the docket, it says 36 and a 25.
Yes, sir. I got his speed at 40. I actually reduced it for him for the minimum fine.
Okay. Did you? Okay. Let me just ask, what speed did you reduce it to, though?
36 and a 25, which is 11 over.
Okay.
He reduced it by 4 miles an hour, Judge, to get him to the minimum fine on there. So he would have been at 15 over the speed limit at the time that the officer tracked him.
All right.
He was polite and courteous and cooperative, so I tried to do him a solid.
Okay. All right, Mr. Barber, you get to now tell me what happened, sir. I just wanted to understand this speed.
All right, I have a mobile detail in the pressure washer service. I was just coming from doing a car light on the next block over from where the officer was sitting. So when I was coming down the street, I didn't see no other sign besides 25 when flashing. And that's the pictures that I took. I went and took pictures of the area, what it was. So from that point to where he stopped me, it was no other signs nowhere else in the area until after I passed that area. So from my knowledge, it was only 25 when lights flashing. Like he said, it was nighttime when he pulled me over.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
That's it.
Okay. You want to go ahead? Do you have any questions, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Mr. Barber, in reference to that particular roadway, you said that you have a mobile detailing, so you pass through that road quite often?
No, I live in Conyers. I go to wherever a customer calls me at.
And before you got to that specific section of the roadway where you saw that sign that you believe is indicating when flashing, did you not notice that the speed limit was 25 miles an hour on the whole road?
When I came in, I didn't come from that street.
But at some point you got on the street, correct?
Yeah, once I got on the street, I turned right, and that's when the officer was right there. I only seen a sign that says 25 when flashing.
Okay, but when you left after you got your citation, you left, did you not notice the 25 mile an hour signs there?
No, it was not. The only sign was there was the 25 when flashing.
So you're saying that the only sign that was on that roadway was 25 miles an hour when flashing?
From where I turned that to where I seen the officer pull me over at, it was no sign. That's why I took the pictures. Like you can look at the pictures and see it.
Okay, we don't have any pictures that we have in the file, Judge.
I mean, I emailed them to you all, and I have them here right here in my file too as well.
Okay, so Mr. Barber, if there are some pictures you'd like for us to consider, please go ahead and email them again, but let me be sure I understand what these pictures are. These pictures will depict that the sign says 25 miles per hour when flashing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it sounds like the officer's testimony is that the speed limit on that street is 25 miles per hour, period. So I think that's what the disconnect is, but you can go ahead and send those pictures in, okay?
What I seen, sir.
You will send them to
Mr.
What is
Barber,
the
I just
email
sent you a
address?
chat.
Okay, Mr. Barber, they will send you the email address through the chat, sir. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to Is there any other evidence in this case?
No, Your Honor, the city rests.
Okay, Mr. Barber, do you rest your case?
Like on the picture, it says Ridge and Simpson, and from all the way.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
send me the pictures, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, send me the pictures. Do you rest your case is my question. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, that's it.
All right, both sides have rested. What I'm gonna do is await the pictures, and I'm gonna enter a judgment at 1 o'clock. So Mr. Barber, I'll need for you to come back on the line at 1 o'clock. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna reset this for 1 o'clock, and I will enter a judgment at 1 o'clock after I've had a chance to inspect the pictures.
Okay.
All right, thank you. You can disengage, sir. Send the pictures. All right?
Judge Freeman, I needed
Yes.
Can Sergeant Arnold be excused? The only other one that he had on the calendar was an FTA. That was Quintez Swanson.
Yes, he can be excused. And thank you, Sergeant Arnold.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you, prosecutor.
No worries.
All right, the next matter that I have for a trial is, it looks like it's Dundrea Robinson. He's on page 5 of 6. And I see Whitney Chisholm. Young lady, are you on a red light or are you a witness in a case? Will you unmute yourself?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Are you on the red light? Are you on the red light calendar or are you a witness in a case?
Red light calendar.
Okay, just hold on. Thank you. All right. All right, Mr. Robinson.
Officer Gladman.
All right, and is Officer Gladman available?
He is, Judge.
All right, Mr. Robinson, if you'll please raise your right hand. Everyone that's going to testify, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, go ahead and present the case.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson received 3 citations on August 24th of 2022. Officer Gladman issued those citations, one for failure to maintain lane, the other one for improper use of center turning lane, and one last one for improper lane change. Officer Gladman, on the date in question, do you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Robinson?
Yes, that's correct.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir, it was.
Are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
Yes.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
I was traveling southbound on Jonesboro Road. I don't recall the intersection of that roadway. However, I was traveling southbound on Jonesboro Road when I came into contact with a Ford Focus that was white in color. I observed the vehicle failed to maintain its lane of travel while traveling southbound as well. The vehicle entered into the central turn lane and proceeded to drive southbound down the central turn lane before re-entering the roadway without signaling, re-entering the roadway abruptly. Made contact with Mr. Robinson and issued those 3 citations.
Okay, so let me just make sure that I'm clear. Your observation of the vehicle that Mr. Robinson was driving is that he used the center turn lane to pass cars going southbound. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So he got into the center turn lane, and instead of turning at some point, he got back into the lane of travel after he got around the vehicle that was immediately in front of him.
Correct.
All right. Nothing further for this witness, Judge.
All right. Mr. Robinson, do you have any questions, sir, you'd like to ask the police officer regarding the 3 charges that are pending against you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
After he pulled me over, I wonder why he took me out the car and had me stand in front of his vehicle for 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's stop right there. The first question is, why was he removed from the car?
At that point in time, the vehicle, there was heavy traffic during that time of the contact. Did not know if Mr. Robinson at the time was attempting to flee from me, so I had him exit the vehicle so I could further investigate and speak with him further about the reason for his driving. He advised he was driving, I believe, home or having car problems at the time.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, what is your next question, sir?
If the car was parked, how would he thought that I was trying to flee from him if the car parked?
Well, Mr. Robinson, that was his opinion. I will let you ask your question, but officer, if you can, his question is, if the car was parked, why did you think he might flee?
This was prior to him coming to a complete stop in the parking lot of the Restaurant Forest parking lot.
All right. You can ask your next question, Mr. Robinson.
I really have no questions.
Okay. Does the city have any other evidence?
No further evidence, Judge. City rests.
All right, Mr. Robinson, the city has rested its case. Now you can tell us why you believe that you are not guilty of 1, 2, or 3, or all of these offenses, sir.
Yes, I was guilty for I have two things to say, so be professional. The first one, so I won't be talking out of court. The first one, when I went around I agree I didn't use the I forgot to use the turn signal. That I agree. But the reason why I did it, because the truck was driving reckless, it was going real slow. And then my car was transmission was going out. And I noticed out by my house, so I'm trying to get out of the road so I won't damage nobody's life with my car going bad. So I went around the car because my turn was coming up. So that's why I drive there every day. I know the respect for as part law with driving. So I know how to drive right. But the reason why I did it was because of the car was going too slow, sir. It was going like 10 miles, the truck.
Okay.
I was trying to respect. I was trying to respect Forest Park or the officer.
Okay. Sir, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right. Does the prosecution have any questions?
I do not, Judge.
All right. Mr. Robinson, do you rest your case, sir?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Robinson, you've been charged with improper lane change, center lane violation, and failure to signal while changing lanes. On the improper lane change, I do find you guilty, but I'm not going to impose a fine. On the center lane violation, I do find you guilty. That fine is $150. On the failure to signal, I do find you guilty. That fine is $175. The total fine is $325. Are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time, sir?
Yeah, I do it 2 weeks.
All right, sir, you will be given a plea form today. Once that's signed, you then will be given a 2-week agreement. For the record, you were found guilty of all 3 offenses, but only on 2 of them are you being required to pay a fine. Do you understand that?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. If you'll have a seat.
Thanks.
The next trial is DeAndrea Talley.
She is in the courtroom with me, Your Honor.
All right, have Ms. Talley to come forward, and we need witnesses Charles Howard, Melvin Pineda, and Officer Simmons. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, Charles Howard or Melvin Pineda? All right, neither one of them are present, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yeah, Judge, I believe that we announced for them previously and they were not on, and that was probably at about 8:30. So the city would move to dismiss for warrant of prosecution.
All right, Ms. Talley,
Yes.
this charge is being dismissed for warrant of prosecution. You will be given a plea form. Please enter a not guilty plea, and then you are free to go. Do you understand that?
Yes, I just have one question because I almost lost my life in this particular situation. My car actually flipped over. Me and my son was in there. I actually am a teacher. I look a little rough this morning, but I'm actually a teacher at Forest Park Middle School. It happened right after coming from picking up my son who went to school around the corner. I got hit. When I got hit, there were lots of people outside. It was a school zone. I'm guessing that the police who was there only got evidence from one person, and it was I guess one of the people that you said, one of the names, and it was supposed to be a dash camera, but she never checked the dash camera, and that was all the evidence that she took. Come to find out, when I came up here to try to get the video, you guys found out it was an MP3 player. So there wasn't any kind of evidence. Like, my insurance went up to $500. Like, that's crazy, over something that they didn't even have proof over. Like, the insurance went up because they said that of the police report, the evidence that you guys had wasn't even substantial. It was an MP3 player, it wasn't even a video, and that was the only evidence that was gathered. My whole car flipped over. I got hit by a F-150 and a camera.
So Ms. Talley, first of all, let me say I'm sorry that you went through that experience, but let me clarify and help you with a few things that a lot of people think. it doesn't matter the source of the evidence, okay? I'm sorry you went through this, but if you feel that the police department did something incorrect in their investigation, I would ask you to take that up with the police chief, okay? We are court services, and all we are doing is addressing the ticket, which, because the witnesses are not here, your case is being dismissed really on a technicality, all right? Because the witnesses are not here. So I can sense your frustration in your voice, and I can sense that this has had some severe ramifications for you. And I'm sorry that I can't address them, but as the municipal court judge, I don't have any authority other than to adjudicate cases when they're presented to me. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So again, I'm sorry that it happened. If you feel like that something incorrect took place, there is a process for you to address this through the police department. But I will say that an MP recorder, if the evidence was valid, is admissible evidence in court. Okay, so the fact that it's that device doesn't mean anything. Do you understand that?
That was the only evidence that she took, and I kept coming up here trying to get the video to give to like a lawyer, and I kept getting the.
Let me ask you something. Have you subpoenaed that information?
Yes, I did. I came up here like once.
No, Miss, hold on. When I say a subpoena, did you fill out a subpoena form and submit it?
Yes, and the first thing that the police gave me were the dash cameras from the police cars, and I couldn't figure out why they did that. And then like 2 months later, when I had court again, because my court date, I keep like, rescheduling it because I really wanted to, to say like, okay, well, maybe it was my fault because I don't know.
Let me say something to you, Ms. Talley. There are still ways for you to get this information. Have you done an open records request?
Yes, it was an MP3 player.
Miss Talley,
Judge Freeman?
hold on. Yes, go ahead, Ms. Yates.
If I can clarify, this case has been reset multiple times. She did have some FCAs. And the MP3 player that she's referring to, that was a video from the witness. He thought that he captured it on the video, but it ended up being music. So okay. There's nothing more.
Okay, so Miss Talley, let me just tell you what any citizen can do for information. You can do an open records request to the government to see if the information exists. If you have not done that, I would recommend that you do it. You say you have filled out a subpoena form, and it sounds like there is no evidence from what I'm hearing, but just out of the abundance of caution, why don't you do an open records request to verify that this information does not exist? Hopefully, if it does exist, you can give this to your insurance company that might help you with your situation. Now, and you can go back to your insurance company and let them know that the charge was dismissed for want of prosecution today. You do have the right to do that as well. Do you understand that?
Yes. Will I get a piece of paper that said it's dismissed today?
If you will hold on, they will give it to you at the end of the docket. So if they don't have it now, they will have it at the end of the docket today. But yes, when I sign the order, it will say dismissed for want of prosecution. Okay. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, that takes care of Ms. Talley. The last, I think we have, was it Courtney Wilson?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Officer Estrada?
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You can. Thank you, Ms. Ida.
Thank
Officer
you.
Estrada?
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right. Everyone that's going to testify in this case, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. If so, say I do.
I do. Yes.
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to go ahead and present the case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wilson's before the court because on February 10th of 2022, he received a citation for running a red light. Officer Estrada issued that citation. Officer Estrada, on the date in question, you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Wilson.
I did.
Was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
And are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
I am. Can
you briefly state the nature of that contact?
So on that date in question, Mr. Wilson actually ran a stop sign. I believe it was on the 4700 block of Puckett Street in front of 4799. I made contact with Mr. Wilson and he was cited for, stop sign violation.
Okay. And were you stationary at that location, or were you just traveling on the roadway at the time that you saw this infraction?
No, I was traveling at the time I saw the infraction.
Okay. And at any time while you were traveling and you noticed this infraction, was your view obscured of the vehicle that Mr. Wilson was driving and or the stop sign that you believe that he ran?
It was not. It was.
I apologize. I meant red light, not stop sign. You have a run on the citation. You have running a red light, but in your caption you have stop sign. So this was a stop sign, correct?
Give me one moment. Yes, it was supposed to be a stop sign violation, not a red light violation.
Okay, I'm clear. All right, no further questions for this witness, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Wilson.
Yes,
do you have any questions you'd like to ask this police officer for the stop sign violation?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
That intersection, sir, is like a blind intersection where you have to stop to see if any traffic is coming from both direction, whether left or right. So it would be suicide not to stop at the stop sign. So I did indeed stop at the stop sign.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, sir.
All right, the city may have some questions to ask you.
Okay.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wilson, do you rest your case?
Yes, sir.
All right. The court has heard from the city as well as from Mr. Wilson regarding this matter regarding the stop sign violation. Mr. Wilson has been accused of not coming to a complete stop at the stop sign. The court finds, based on the evidence presented, that Mr. Wilson is guilty of the offense. The fine amount is $175. What does Mr. Wilson's driving history look like?
Hold on one second, Judge. The last citation that I have here was a Sandy Springs citation. He was driving 75 and a 55. He pled nolo contendere to that, and that was in 2019. There's only 2 citations on his driving history thus far, I can tell.
All right. Mr. Wilson, the court has found you guilty of the offense. The fine amount is $175. Are you able to pay that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I'll pay it in 2 weeks.
All right. Sir, you will be given 2 weeks to pay. I will say this to you, that if you take a safe driving course and submit it to the Department of Driving Services, it may help you with the points regarding this offense. Do you understand that?
Judge, if I may, I noticed on his driving, it's traffic offense. Mr. Wilson, you have a CDL, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, based on the fact that he cannot use NOLA since he's used one within the last 5 years and that he is a CDL holder, the city would have no objection to amending it to a basic rules violation, because we know that the CDL is a little bit more sensitive to any kind of traffic tickets, and he's only had 2. Both of those previous tickets were in 2019.
We're going to have to do something a little different with this adjudication. Mr. Wilson, let me have you to type your name and email address in the chat.
Okay.
As of right now, sir, you have been found guilty of the offense. I'll talk with the prosecutor regarding a way to address this. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please make arrangements to pay the fine of $175. Do you understand that?
Where do I make the arrangement, sir?
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
I'm doing it right now, sir. Okay, yes, it's done.
Do we have Mr. Wilson's information? It looks like we do. You will receive your plea form through your email by close of business tomorrow. Once you've received it, send it back, and then you will receive information on how to make payment within 2 weeks from today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you can disengage from the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Judge, that would have been Officer Estrada's only other matter, but it looks like Mr. Bailey has logged on. We had him in an FTA at 8:22, and that is one of Officer Estrada's cases.
All right.
He was here earlier. For some reason, he had logged off, and that's when
Mr. Bailey, what is your plea to the charge, sir? Improper parking on a roadway.
How you doing? Good morning, sir.
Good
I would like
morning
to
to you.
plead
I
not.
hope you are not operating a vehicle, are you?
No, currently I'm not.
Okay. What is your plea to the charge, sir?
I would like to plead not guilty, sir.
Okay, sir, in looking at you, it appears that you are driving a vehicle. So I don't know why you're telling me that you're not, okay? We're gonna leave this in FTA status. Mr. Bailey can just come down to the courthouse and deal with the FTA.
So what do I have to do? I was on here this morning at 8 o'clock, but my phone kept logging me off.
Okay, well, Mr. Bailey, I understand that, but there are certain protocol that we must follow for this type of court. And you cannot be driving or operating a vehicle while this is going on. So you will come down physically to the courthouse. They'll give you another court date for in person, and you will come and we'll take care of the case on that day.
Okay, sir.
All right. All right, so I think what we have remaining now is the
Officer Estrada, you can go ahead and disengage.
Officer Estrada, you can disengage from the call, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that's the same for Officer Glover. That his case was FTA. Officer Glover.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're good to go. Glover.
Okay, so can we pull up the information regarding Ms. Chisholm? I think she's a red speed case. All right, Ms. Chisholm.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're charged with a red speed violation. They are pulling up your citation for me, but first let me tell you, this is a civil violation that's done through a camera system. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so let me first have you to raise your right hand. You swear or affirm everything that you're about to say to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. If so, say I do.
I do.
All right. Once I can see your information, I can. Let me give them a moment to pull it up.
Okay.
So the way this process works is that there's cameras out there that takes a series of pictures of vehicles as they pass certain areas. And so my question to you, once they pull this up, I want to first know if in fact this is your vehicle and were you operating the vehicle that day?
Sir, yeah, and I have had time to confirm that it is my vehicle. However, I was not operating the vehicle that day.
Who was operating the vehicle?
I'm honestly at this time not sure as to who was operating the vehicle, but I was at work.
Who has access to the vehicle?
The keys for the vehicles were on a plate. So at that time, I haven't been able to confirm who exactly have been driving it. I just know I was not driving it and I didn't authorize anybody to drive it.
Who lives in the household that has access to the car?
My mom lives in the household. Her husband lives in the household. I have a brother that lives in the household. My niece lives in the household. My other brother lives in the household. And I know my mom was allowing, she had taken in some people for help. They needed to sleep on her couch.
Is your mom with you today?
No, sir. I know you didn't ask for the additional information. I hit my head on the wall and I got an excuse. Actually, I just showed up to court because I just remember I had to be here at 8, but I really just left the hospital yesterday for this.
Then we will give you a reset court date because I need to have all these people that you're saying. Let me just say, I normally don't do this, but something about this story does sound a little strange. I'm going to attribute it to the fact that maybe you're just not feeling well. And so we're going to reset this court date for another day. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. let's reset her court date for another day. Let's do it the first of the year.
Question,
What is your question?
did the court receive any of the notarized affidavits I sent in?
I have not received anything, but I will just say to you that your testimony is conflicting. I'd like to get more information, so I'm going to reset this until the first of the year.
Okay.
All right, we have a gentleman standing here.
Oh, that's Sergeant Gladden. He's actually over the Red Speed program for Forest Park Police. So he
Okay.
was just on hand because of.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Sergeant. We're going to reset her court date for the first of the year.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, does that take care of everybody?
It does.
All right, then I will see everyone at 1 o'clock, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna bring, don't close out yet, y'all. I'm just gonna bring these other people in to let Simmons know that case was dismissed. Well, she was there. Simmons, can you hear me? Officer Simmons?
Yes.
Hi, okay, so you're no longer needed. We are done for today. The witnesses did not show up for that hearing, so that case was dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
Sir, what is your name? Sir. He didn't have his. Oh God, these people. Sir. Sir, I need your audio. He's gonna be dismissed. Move. Shut everything down. All right, so we're good to go.